It's Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast with Ryan Enjoys Wrestling and MWO. And this is our AEW Full Gear prediction show. We're going to make predictions on all 9 of the main card matches the best we can. And if you bet on DraftKings, hopefully we can win you some damn money. But I don't know, because I'm just going to wing it this time and just go for it. But Ryan, you excited about your predictions? And are you excited about this Full Gear card for tomorrow?
Yeah. I'm excited about the predictions. I feel like this card is lacking a lot of star power. Like I think AEW right now is really missing Swerve Strickland. I think they're really missing Will Ospreay, sure. And I think they're really missing MJF. And I think you can tell with the build of this card for sure that they need those 3 guys back pronto.
Yeah, yes, they do. 100%. But they're doing all right. Hangman's thriving. I mean, I'm glad we got Samoa Joe back. Kyle Fletcher's having his turn. Okada's a freaking star. But yes, I do feel like the episodes are starting to lag a little bit. But we need those people back. But let's get into it. You ready for these full? Actually, before we even get to that, we got to hit that music, bro. I forgot because it's a prediction show. We got to do it.
Let's go.
2 dudes with attitudes. Let's go. 2 dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. A 5-star broadcast shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E. The 2 dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
All right, Full Gear predictions. And normally our guy Ryan will try to predict every single match order. This time he decided no mas because every time he does AEW, he usually gets maybe one. That's somewhere in the middle, just because it just so happens to hit there. I'm truly curious if they're going to end with Mercedes or not, just because I don't know. Yeah, we'll get into it during the predictions. But I'm excited. 9 matches. Plus, I think there's 4 on the barbecue. They're not even calling it the tailgate now. Now it's like the Full Gear. I don't know.
And but there's 9 matches. There's 2 no disqualification matches, 2 money matches, and a bunch of tag team matches. So they really brought it this time for AEW Full Gear. Yeah. And
I like that there's a $1 million match and a $200,000 match.
I know.
Imagine that. And that match has got to be the Acclaimed, right? It's like a bunch of like all like the washed up has been like tag teams. They're just like, let's put them in here and hope for the best. But let's get into the real meat. By the way, I forgot to tell you that this is presented by DC. So I guess the entire company.
Yeah.
The industry, the comics, the movies, I don't know whatever. Warner Brothers. All right, let's get into it. What's the first match we're predicting? There it is.
And I know you said that, sorry to interrupt, but I know you said that, that I'm going to probably get these wrong. Watch me get this. I didn't put any effort into this match order. I wasn't like they're going to do, and watch me get it 100% spot on when I don't do any effort into it. So.
If you do, I will be very, very, that'll be super exciting if you can get this down right perfectly without trying. But let's get into it. We got a 4-way tag match that decides one semifinal stipulation match between these tag teams for the first ever women's tag team championship. I don't know what the point of this match is. They could have just left it off. They have 9 matches, but nonetheless, we have Timeless Love Bombs versus the Babes of Wrath versus Sisters of Sin versus the Mega Sis. Who do you got winning and gaining the stipulation? Because I'm assuming whoever gets the stipulation obviously is going to lose the match, I'm assuming. So who do you got?
I got to go with the Megasis. They're my favorite tag team in this tournament. They are they were thrown together the last couple of weeks, but they've been building them up. Marina Shafir tapped out Toni Storm, or tapped out Mina Shirakawa and Blood and Guts. Megan Bayne was hitting her with the championship. I feel like they're really pushing Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir. So I think they're going to win, and they're going to choose the stipulation, I guess. But I'm confused about this. Does only one of the semifinal matches get the stipulation? Do both matches have the same stipulation? Because if it's only one match that gets the stipulation, strategically, don't you want to lose? That way, it's like, okay, we have a regular one-on-one match then, and they have to compete for the stipulation. But also, like this match also feels like a pointless match, because why not just do the 2 semifinal matches at the pay-per-view? And you have a Dynamite coming up on Wednesday. That's the night before Thanksgiving. And maybe you could do the finals on that episode and give people a reason to tune in, give people a hook to want to join and watch your show that hasn't been getting the best rate. It's kind of down this week on ratings. You want to give people a reason to tune in. The women just got a bunch of praise and blood and guts last week. Why not, do the finals next week on Dynamite and have the semifinals right here at Full Gear? It makes sense in my head, but I don't know. This just feels like a waste.
No, it is a waste. There's no point to this match. This is just, I want these girls on here to showcase them, so let's figure out something to do. But I don't know. I don't like it. It's not that fantastic to me. Yo, what up, Ruby Garcia? Who do I think is going to win? See, I'm going the other route. I always feel like when you get the stipulation, you usually lose it, right? Who had it just recently? I think it was the AEW, or was it WWE, where it was like a whatever, no holds, like all for them, like their main match, and then they freaking lost it. It was like named after them. I forgot who it was. My brain doesn't work so well. Yo, what up? And but nonetheless, I do think it's going to be Timeless Love Bombs who win this. I think that's why they were the only ones that had the promo. I think they're going to cut it. I think they're going to pick some weird, dumb stipulation where it's like a lesbian kissing match or something, and then I don't know, whatever Toni Storm pulls out of her
bra
butt.
and panties match.
Yeah, probably, to be honest with you. And I think then they're gonna lose it. I before we move on, I want to say though, I don't like the way they did the pairings. I don't understand why we have the Babes of Wrath versus the Sisters of Sin. They're not going to win. Like the tag teams that were going to win were either going to be Bayne and Shafir and Toni Storm and Mina. I don't know why they didn't put them on opposite sides so they could be the main event. Because once the Mega Sis win, like, do you really think the Babes of Wrath are going to win or the Sisters of Sin? I don't know. Like the Sisters of Sin are dance, I guess, and the Babes of Wrath are fun because they bump boobs. I don't know. I'm not. I didn't like the pairing sides of it, but I am going to go with the Timeless Love Bombs.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I mean, if I had to choose, it's either Mega Sis or the Timeless Love Bombs. And I do like that, like you said before, that all the tag teams have names now. And
that's how it should be.
Yeah, I do like that. So, and I love the name Mega Sis. I think that's a bomb-ass name. So
I love them all, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa get the win here, and then the Mega Sis ends up winning the tag team titles. Because I think they are the favorites to win this thing.
They gotta win, man. Toni Storm doesn't need this. She can do other things. So, all right, what's next up? What do we got? All right, we got Kyle Fletcher defending his TNT Championship against one Mark Briscoe, the guy that struggled cutting a promo backstage this past week. And basically the stipulation is if Kyle Fletcher wins, Mark Briscoe has to join the Don Callis family. If Mark Briscoe wins, obviously he wins the TNT Championship. So with that said, I feel like this is a very obvious winner, but who do you got?
Yeah, it's a no disqualification match. So there's going to be shenanigans afloat, and I wholeheartedly think that Kyle Fletcher's retaining his title. They've been really focusing a lot on his promos. First of all, he's like, does he not know his name? Because his new catchphrase is like, "You guys are all gonna know my name." I'm like, we already know your name, dude. But anyway, Kyle Fletcher's gonna win. But they're really honing in on this, like, I'm the longest reigning TNT champion of all time. They're like
most defenses, most title defenses. Yeah, not the longest. Most title defenses, which is weird. I don't.
Yeah, like, but they won't say who he's passing because he's passing Cody Rhodes, and they won't say his name.
That's why. Got it.
But so I do think they're gonna have him set the record or break the record. So Kyle Fletcher's gonna win. And we're going to find out who attacked Mark Briscoe on Collision this week. And I think that whoever that was, whether it's Roderick Strong or a member of the Don Callis family himself or MJF or somebody along those lines, is going to cost Mark Briscoe the match. And that's how he loses. And he's going to be forced to join the Don Callis family.
I mean, the thing is, Mark Briscoe's it's just so boring and so dull. What are we doing with him? He tried to cut that promo. It was awful. When he tries to cut a real promo and he's not just like the water boy, you know what I mean? It just isn't that good. Kyle Fletcher, though, I will say, I haven't been the biggest fan. Not in the fact that I don't believe in him. I just didn't think he was there. And I thought he had a pretty good promo this week. I thought it was really, really good. I thought he delivered it well. I think he's starting to find his groove, find his character. But with that said, Briscoe is going to lose. Kyle Fletcher defends, and they'll at least get a new story with Mark Briscoe. They want him on the television, so you might as well find something for him to do. And him being a disgruntled, Don Callis member, I guess makes sense. I don't know. There's like so many people on that crew. I don't even know who's in it anymore. Might as well add Mark Briscoe. So, yeah, I got Kyle Fletcher winning. He ain't losing it this week, especially in a no DQ.
Yeah.
Who's going to help Briscoe win? Like, it just.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. I think Mark Briscoe has more enemies than he does friends, so no one's going to help him win. And we move on.
Agreed. What's next? Woo! All right. The tag team championships are on the line with one Brodito, who's had it for quite some time now, versus probably the biggest tag team in the world in AEW, and that's FTR. Who do you got?
I'm leaning two ways here. I think Brodito could win because Adam Copeland and Christian Cage cost FTR, or I think FTR wins and it sets up FTR versus Christian Cage and Adam Copeland for the tag team championships at the next pay-per-view, World's End, or whenever they do it, maybe on a Dynamite or a Collision. But I'm going to lean towards the first one. I think Adam Copeland and Christian Cage don't need the tag team titles. We don't need to see FTR with the tag team titles right now. I think we need to get back to the Copeland. We need to finish the Copeland Cage FTR story. And I think the way to do that is to have them cost FTR the tag team championships against Brodito. So I think we get a return of maybe Adam Copeland, maybe Beth Phoenix, and we kind of further that story along. And they cost FTR the tag team, their opportunities at the tag team championships. So Brodito gets the win.
All right. Well, this is the first of I think titles are changing hands, and I'm going with FTR, actually. I think they're the hottest faction right now, or the hottest, tag team. They've been nothing but gold since they became heels. I think they're doing fantastic work, and I just think Brodito has had their run. I think they were a fun, put-together random tag team. What else do you really have for them? I think maybe it's time for them to... Isn't Homeboy still, a Bandito still a world champion in ROH or something? I mean, does he even defend that anymore? So I think they've run their time. I think it's time for FTR to finally get something to brag even more about as heels, and I think they win the tag team titles this week. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good pick. Can't go wrong.
All right. No, you can't. All right. We got Pac versus Darby Allin in a straight up wrestling match, because that way Darby Allin cannot beat Pac, because Darby Allin can only win if it's some kind of stipulation to the match. I have to say, we'll get into Jon Moxley and Kyle O'Reilly later on, and I've been shitting on that all over the place, saying how stupid it is that Kyle O'Reilly is just getting the upper hand when he's a nobody. He's a C-level AEW wrestler, which makes him a D-level professional wrestler. And he's just dominating Jon Moxley, and everybody's like, well, Denton, MWO, what's going to happen is that he's going to become a big star after this, and blah, 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 blah. I remember the same thing with somebody else. Jon Moxley was wrestling somebody by the name of Darby Allin, who Darby Allin beat him, and that was supposed to be his big push. And what has Darby Allin done since he beat Jon Moxley? That's right. He's wrestling Jon Moxley's crony, Pac, who's not even the leader of the Death Riders. He's wrestling somebody beneath Jon Moxley now. So he has beaten Moxley and earned himself a demotion. Make it make sense, but who do you got? Just wanted to throw my 2 cents in there because I think this is stupid, and this is why I don't believe in Kyle O'Reilly, because that's not how Tony Khan books.
Yeah, I think it's going to get worse. I do, because I'm predicting that Pac beats Darby Allin in this match.
What?
I think...
Yeah. Now, all right.
And here's why. I think this is the beginning of the end of Jon Moxley and the Death Riders. And I think Pac is gonna. What's the one thing that Jon Moxley couldn't do? I know he beat Darby one time, but he couldn't. He couldn't defeat the Darby Allin in the I Quit match. So, he struggled in that match. And then, who took out Darby Allin last week in Blood and Guts and put him through the flaming table and didn't let him factor into the match at all? It was Pac. I think Pac is going to get the win, and it's going to show that Jon Moxley is becoming the weak link of the Death Riders. And I think not only is he going to win, I think he might win with relative ease because, Darby got a lot of offense in on Jon Moxley. Darby struggled. Moxley struggled against Darby Allin. I think Darby's going to lose to Pac, and we're going to see the beginning of the end of Moxley in the Death Riders.
I can't do it. I got to go Darby Allin. I don't think this is it yet. I just don't. The fact that Pac picked the stipulation, you know how I feel about that, and wanted it a straight up wrestling match because that's the only way he could beat Darby Allin because Darby Allin, I guess, can't wrestle. So be it. But Darby Allin,
no weapons, no flamethrowers, no Molotov cocktails, no nothing to. He can't cheat to win.
Yeah. I still got Darby winning. I can't see Pac beating Darby Allin. I know Pac's been eating his bowl of steroidos every single morning, but I just don't see him beating Darby Allin. I'm going Darby. I could be, like I said, I could be wrong on all these predictions. I'm winging them this week. All right, the match we've all been waiting for. If there's anything we are super excited for, it's a match where they don't win $1 million, but we pretend they do. We got Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express versus Josh Alexander and the Young Bucks. I think we either get a turn for heel or a turn for babyface. Who do you got?
I think we're getting a turn for babyface. I think the Young Bucks, I think Josh Alexander is there to take the pin. I think the Young Bucks end up losing the match with Josh Alexander, and then afterwards, because it only happens after in pro wrestling, it never happens during the match. But so after a grueling, hard-fought battle, Nick and Matt Jackson, who are like going to be busted open and killed, like they're going to be like keeled over. They're gonna rejoin their friends, Jack Perry, Luchasaurus, and Kenny Omega, and go full on babyface. That's my prediction. But the thing about this match too is the build for it has been really, really weird because there's another story that we just talked about with Mark Briscoe potentially joining the Don Callis family. But you watch Dynamite this week, and it's like, hey, Nick and Matt, are you going to join the Don Callis family? Are you going to join the Don? Like, I think you guys should join the Don Callis family. Are you going to join the Don Callis? It's like they're telling two stories at the same time, and but they only care about one of these stories, and it's this one. So I don't know. It's just a weird booking for this show from Tony Khan and the AEW fans. But Nick and Matt Jackson are going babyface. Young Bucks go babyface, and we put an end to all this stuff. So Kenny Omega wins.
I fully agree with you. Everything you said. Yeah. Spot on. The end. That's what's happening. Yep.
Yeah. Pretty obvious.
I think it's the only way. Pretty obvious. All right. We got the Full Gear Casino Gauntlet match to determine the first ever AEW national champion. Another thing nobody absolutely cares about. Number 1 is going to be Bobby Lashley. Number 2 is going to be Shelton Benjamin. And 3 through whatever is who gives a shit. Who do you got?
I think Bobby Lashley is going to win. I think it's time to put some gold on Bobby Lashley. There's a reason he's in this match. He's been dominant in his time in AEW, and he's one of the best wrestlers out there. He's one of the best big men out there, and I think they need a big name to put this national championship on. Chris Jericho was the first AEW world champion because he was a recognized name. I think Bobby Lashley could be the first AEW national champion because he's a recognized name, and I think he'll bring automatic credibility to it. So I think it's going to be Bobby Lashley, and I don't think he's going to pin Shelton Benjamin, but yeah, I think Bobby Lashley's definitely winning.
I fully agree with you. Yeah.
I don't know who else is in the match. I mean, Jet Speed's in the match, I think. I don't know who else is in there, but yeah, Bobby Lashley's winning.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the only way to go, too. I think Bobby Lashley has to win. Tony Khan loves Bobby Lashley, straight, pushing him hard. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm going Bobby Lashley for sure. For sure. All right. Oh, my goodness. Chris Statlander versus Mercedes Moné. Chris Statlander is defending her AEW Women's World Championship, and Mercedes Moné is defending absolutely nothing. None of her 13 belts will be defended. Who do you got?
I'm gonna throw it out there. I think Chris Statlander is winning. I think Chris Statlander is gonna retain her women's championship, and I think Mercedes Moné maybe. I know we said this when she lost to Toni Storm at All In, but maybe this is the beginning of the end of Mercedes Moné. And in terms of she loses this championship, or maybe it gets into her head that she just can't win the women's championship no matter what, and that none of these other titles matter, and maybe she starts losing them one by one or something like that. I don't know, but I think Chris Statlander's done a great job with the team with the women's championship. They have history with Mercedes. She lost to Mercedes last time they wrestled. I think Chris Statlander's due for a victory over her, and I think it would do her wonders. And it's not time to take the title off of her. So Chris Statlander is going to retain.
I fully agree. I don't think there's my thing is, here's this, right? If Mercedes Moné doesn't win, then I don't feel like people other than pretend hardcore Mercedes Moné fans truly care about her having 13 titles. So if she tried to beat Toni Storm and couldn't do it for the world championship, then try to beat Chris Statlander and couldn't do it, why should I care about those 13 world championships at all? I just don't get why I should care that she collects secondary belts and organizations that can't fit 200 people into a stadium and ROH championships, but she can't win the big one. I just feel like it serves no purpose to her belt collecting, right? But I do think Chris Statlander is going to win.
Story that they're telling,
But what story though? And the other thing is too, it's not like she's going to lose all 13 of these belts. So what are we doing here?
Yeah, I mean, the only story I could think of is that she can't win the big one. She's got all these other titles, but the one that she wants, she can't get. And it's the women's title, and that's why she lost to Toni Storm at All In. Now she's going to lose to Chris Statlander. How many opportunities she's going to stop at nothing to get that women's championship, but she just can't do it. I don't know. Well, that's the only story I can see coming out of it.
The only thing I can like about that is that then she thinks it's because she has too many titles, so maybe she'll relinquish all of them, so then she can focus on just that championship. I think Chris Statlander is going to win. But yeah, and the TBS championship, she's holding that thing hostage. When was the last time that was defended?
Yeah, I know. That needs to be. It should be a winner-take-all match. Yeah,
I agree. That's what I mean. Why is it only one title being defended? I agree. All right.
And I think we'll know too. If this match main events, then I think Mercedes might win. But if this match doesn't win main event, Chris Statlander's retaining.
All right. Jon Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly in a submission. A no holds barred match. Yeah, I mean, Kyle O'Reilly, Jon Moxley on Dynamite, just so you know, tapped out Orange Cassidy. Freshly squeezed and returned Orange Cassidy, taps out the Jon Moxley to only then have Kyle O'Reilly come out, put Jon Moxley in an ankle lock to where he tapped out for 10 minutes as the Death Riders are kicking and punching him and Kyle O'Reilly's laughing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit. Who do you got? This is just not. And then they have a no holds barred match.
Yeah. Like, what in the world? It's like remember The Simpsons when Homer's like describing the movie he watched over the weekend, and it's about this bus that has to go a certain speed.
Yeah.
And if it drops below that certain speed, it'll explode. I think it was called The Bus That Couldn't Slow Down. That's what this match is all about. It's, you put him in a submission, you have him tap out to that submission, then you have him put in that submission again, almost taps out to that submission. Then in Blood and Guts, he actually does tap out to the submission to lose the match. So let's have a no DQ match at the pay-per-view, not a submission match, which is like what the story they've been telling. It makes no sense. I think Kyle O'Reilly's getting the win. I do. I think, again, it feeds into my theory of earlier that Pac beats Darby Allin and Jon Moxley loses to Kyle O'Reilly again. And it's the beginning of the end of Jon Moxley and the Death Riders, because they realize that, you're losing to Kyle O'Reilly of all people. I just beat Pac, I just beat Darby Allin, somebody that you had a hard time beating. I just beat, I beat Darby Allin with ease in Blood and Guts. I took him out. You couldn't do it. And I beat him with ease at Full Gear, and you couldn't do it. And now you're losing to Kyle O'Reilly. And then I think next week on Dynamite, Pac will wrestle Kyle O'Reilly and beat him. And then, then we get to the end. That's how they realize that Jon Moxley is the one that's holding them back.
All right. We'll see. Touche. Let's see. I'm gonna go with Jon Moxley.
I think he needs it.
Like,
but,
he beat Orange Cassidy and tapped him out. So obviously his losing streak is done. So now it's just, can he defeat the mystery and the puzzle that is one Kyle O'Reilly, superstar, future Hall of Famer Kyle O'Reilly. Like, what are we doing here? That'd be like Cody Rhodes wrestling. Like, I can't even think of it. Like, John Moxley's your star. He's your face. You're put up against, you know what I mean? Like, seriously, they're about on the same level. Like, what are we doing here? Like, it makes no sense. I think he's going to lose. I think John Moxley wins, and that's why it's a no-hold-barred match. Because then Kyle O'Reilly can say, I could still tap you out. I just think it's like, yeah.
But even his promo was weird because he was like, I want a no-holds-barred match, and everyone's going to chant that you tapped out. It was like, it almost felt like he didn't mean to say no-holds-barred.
No-holds-barred, yeah, because you can't tap out in a no-holds-barred match.
Yeah. So it was like...
Or can you?
I think you can, as long as, you can just cheat to do it. You can, like, knock him out with a steel step. There's nothing off. It's just a no DQ match. That's all.
So you can still have submission. Oh, okay. So we can still tap him out. All right, well, whatever.
Yeah, but it was just a weird thing to say. Like, usually you want to save that for a submissions match, but what do I know?
I guess nothing. All right. What's next? Oh, and we got it. The AEW World Heavyweight Championship rematch between one Hangman Adam Page and Samoa Joe. Hangman just beat up his boy on Dynamite. Who do you got?
In a steel cage too.
In a steel cage match. Thank you, because nobody can get in on one of those.
Yeah, but also, he just took out Powerhouse Hobbs. He was in the hospital. He made sure to mention this on Dynamite, and now he put Shibata in the hospital. So those guys are out for good. But Hangman Page is retaining. The question isn't if, it's how. And I do think this is where we get a big return. I think maybe MJF comes back. And we revisit Hangman Page versus MJF. Maybe he cashes in his contract, and now you have to wait a week in advance. So maybe we find out that he's going to cash it in, and he's going to do it at World's End, or he's going to do it on Dynamite, or he's going to do it in the near future. And then I think Samoa Joe's going to be pissed, and we're going to get a triple threat or something. But I do think either at the end of this match or during this match, we're going to get a big return of one Maxwell Jacob Friedman. And he's somebody that AEW truly needs right now.
I like that. I'm going to shock you right now. I'm going to go with Samoa Joe. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I think Tony Khan loves Samoa Joe, just like he loves Bobby Lashley. Samoa Joe shocked the world last time, and I don't feel like, why are we having a rematch if he's just going to lose again? What was the point? Just to turn him heel, kind of? I don't know. I have a feel. Hangman Page has had a good run. He's had the title for a while. What does he really have to do next? I don't see a future of what he has to do. Not saying he doesn't have one. If he wins, I wouldn't be surprised, obviously. But I'm going to go Samoa Joe. I think they're going to go a different route. I think Samoa Joe's hot. He doesn't have much time to go, and he has history with certain people as well. So
yeah, and I mean, I don't mind that pick at all. And that would further my theory that MJF comes back, because who dethroned MJF? Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
So now MJF wants his Triple B back, and he wants to cash in on the guy who cashed in on him. So I can see that. I can see that for sure.
Yeah. All right. I think that's the last one, right? That's it?
Yeah.
All right. That's our 9-match Full Gear AEW prediction show. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. Also, don't forget to hit in those comments if you agree or disagree with us. It should be a jam-packed show. It should only go about, 7 hours tomorrow. Yeah, it'll go on from 5 o'clock my time, end around midnight. So you'll be watching it till 3 o'clock in the morning. It should be a good time. But yeah,
don't forget the media scrum and all the pre-show stuff and all that fun stuff. Yeah,
the pre-show is an hour or 2 hours. It's 2 hours, right? It's got 4 matches, I believe.
I think so. I think it's at least 2 hours, and then and then the media scrum will be fun.
Yeah, like always. But there you have it. If you haven't already, subscribe. If you're listening, 5-star review us. Help us out. Help some dudes out. And as always, if you just want to check me out, I'm on all your social media at my_wrestling_opinion. That's MWO. And with me, as always, is
Ryan. Enjoys wrestling on all the social media platforms, so go follow me there. Go follow us right here on YouTube at 2 Dudes with Attitudes. We are live on Twitch right now at 2dudes_with_attitudes. So go follow us there. On Instagram at 2dudes_with_attitudes, and on TikTok at 2dudes_with_attitudes. So we're everywhere. So go follow us. And then if you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify, appreciate all the love and support. I don't know if you guys know this, but we are in the top 10% of all listened to wrestling podcasts. We want to get into that top 5%, that top 1%. So the way to do that is to get our name out there, spread the love, and leave us 5-star ratings and reviews, and tell everyone about the favorite two dudes on the internet. And we, as always, we appreciate everyone's love and support.
Two Dudes Wolfpack, we out.
Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E, the two dudes